My client said to me, you know what? I think her name is the mean girl. You know, that voice inside your head that criticizes you, judges you, tells you you're not good enough, haven't gotten there fast enough, should have already done this already. That mean girl, that's what we're talking about today. So if you are hearing a mean girl in your voice, in your mind, that is running you, this is all about understanding that mean girl, how she got there, what's motivating her, and what steps you can start to shift that voice. Hello and welcome to Say Yes to You and Why You Don't for women who are great. It's saying yes to others, but not always as great. It's saying yes to themselves. I am Claudia Braun, mindset, lifestyle coach, and EFT practitioner for women who are ready to start saying yes to themselves. And today, my special offer for you is get access to the 5-minute assessment that will show you how your mean girl is operating in your mind so that you can start to understand and overcome these challenges. Because, like I said in the first episode of Say Yes to You, the first step to change is awareness. And if you're not aware of what you're doing, you can't turn it around. Get the assessment and it'll give you a blueprint for moving forward. The link is below, so take access to it. It'll take you 5 minutes to answer some questions and give you a little bit more insight into your mean girl in your mind. All right, so the mean girl, that voice in your head that is judging you, that is criticizing you, that is telling you, maybe it says you're an imposter. Maybe it says that even those things that you think you're good at, it says, who are you kidding? You're not really that good at it. And once you get found out, they're going to know you're not really that good at it. That's also an aspect of the mean girl. So my client and I were talking and she said, as I'm really starting to listen to that voice in my head, I'm realizing she just is mean. She's not nice to me. She doesn't like me. And so the work I do with my clients is really helping them to be empowered so that they can start saying yes to themselves and discovering all the ways in which they don't say yes to themselves and why is it that they don't and what keeps them wired in that way. And so when you get to know your mind and your mean girl, you also can start to become empowered to step forward in ways in which you haven't been able to this point. So this was really motivated by seeing a bit of my old aspect of self kind of kicking in, and I was like, wow, this is so good. I need to talk about this today. I need to bring this to the forefront of everybody's mind because you can be on this path of really working on yourself for a while and suddenly get blindsided or suddenly get old aspects of yourself showing up or a different aspect that you didn't realize was there. And especially I notice it comes up when you're in a stressful situation. Maybe something has shown up in your life. Maybe there's a health issue. Maybe there's a relationship issue. Maybe somebody else's health issue. And it kicks up these old patterns that perhaps served you, right? And that's what I mean of like, how do these mean girl patterns get developed? So think about it. All of the aspects of self-criticism, judgment, sabotage, all come from a younger version of you. When you were a child, they served you. They helped you to get to where you are now. They helped you to survive a childhood that maybe there were people who were kind of critical. Maybe there were people who weren't available to you in the way you needed it. And so the way you learned to cope to survive was to not ask for help, was to judge yourself before they judged them, right? I mean, you learn to adapt to your environment. But now you're seeing, wait a minute, this mean girl is operating she's on autopilot. She's on steroids. I mean, she's just going, and I'm not even aware of it. So if you're feeling that way, this mean girl is running you. You're run by your judgments. You're run by your criticism. You're run by your worry of what other people are going to say about you. So you're going to 40 so that they don't. Know that this can be turned around, and know that if that's what's operating, you're not at choice. And that's what I work with my clients around, is giving them the opportunity to choose. If these patterns are working for you, that's fine. Keep it going. But if you're noticing the exhaustion, the overwhelm, the sadness, the anger, irritation, resentment by being run by these patterns, then you know they no longer serve you. Because what we know, all spiritual principles, all practices of higher mind teach us that if we are not in joy, if we are not in some form of being able to feel at peace and happiness in our life, we're off track. We are not being who we are here to be. Being run by your anxieties, your fears, your self-criticism, your judgments, other people's judgments of you, is not you being at your best self. And I know if you're here and you're listening, you want to be at greater peace. You want to be feeling like your best self. You want to have more choice in your life. And you're kind of struggling with how to get there. And I get it, because this is a world where so many things are pushing at you. So when you feel a world pushing at you, and you've got an inside mean girl pushing inner, you've got this coming and that coming, imagine how stressful that is. So no wonder your shoulders feel like they're up to your ears, and your back is tense, and your stomach is tight, and your lower back hurts. There's a reason, because of the push-pull that's going on. All that stress has to go somewhere. And when you're not able to manage your mind, when you're not able to manage all of this judgment, criticism, with an ability to counteract it and speak back to it, you're not at choice, and you're feeling the negative effects of it. So I know that there's a lot of pain in that. All of the podcasts I run are based on what I know personally, what I know from coaching other people on. So I know that when you are being run by an inner mean girl, that critic, that judgment, that sabotage, your life is hard. Your life is stressful. It's anxiety-inducing. Perhaps you're quick to anger, quick to emotionality, quick to reactivity, quick to feel anxiety by circumstances around you. If that's the case, it's not about judging yourself. It's not about seeing what's wrong with you. It's about seeing, oh, okay, I see what's happening. This is telling me I'm not managing my mind. And that's the difference. And that's really what I see as the key of the work that I really support my clients around, is when you're run by a mean girl, she just judges where you're at. If you're challenged and you're struggling, your being judged and criticized by it does not serve you. Like, where's the upside benefit of that? It doesn't help you get to where you're at. And that's why I find so many people don't want to sit and be quiet with themselves. They don't want to meditate. They get lost in shopping, overdoing, eating, people pleasing. All those things will block your being able to go within, be able to sit and feel your feelings, be able to get clear about what's really going on. And like I said in the beginning, if you don't have the awareness of what's going on, you can't change it. So there's nothing wrong with you. You're not fundamentally flawed because you haven't been able to do it yet. You're not fundamentally flawed because you can't sit in the stillness of it. What I know is that it is a practice. And it also is discovering why you actually want it. If your why or want for it isn't bigger than the struggle, you won't go towards it. Does that make sense? You have to really want it. If you don't really want it, you're not going to push through what's challenging. So I use my ceramics journey as an example. I frequently bring this up here because it's not easy for me. I love to be in the pottery studio. I love to throw clay. A lot of my things don't come out centered. They're kind of wobbly. Half my wall is one side, half is the other side. It's very challenging for me. And it's very easy for me to look around and see other people not having exactly the challenges that I'm having. And my inner critic voice in my head wants to go, why do you want to do this? Why don't you just give it up? You're not that great at it. And it's such an opportunity for me to go back to my why is bigger than my struggle. I really want this. So I push through. I keep showing up even when it's hard, even when the results aren't necessarily there, even when I can put in the time and the progress feels minuscule. In my inner knowing, I know that it will happen. And it's kind of like the straw that breaks the camel's back. That's the negative, but it's also in the positive. You don't know which straw shifts things. So you just keep putting straws in, right? I mean, it's like the drops in the ocean. You have to have lots of drops to fill. It's like putting money in a savings account. It's like you keep putting it in, eventually you see it grow. In the beginning, it seems so minuscule, why bother? But over time, you see it grow, you see interest. The same thing happens in your own life, in your mind. The more you're willing to sit, the more you're willing to take time, the more you're willing to be with these uncomfortable feelings and not do what you always do, which is run to food, run to people pleasing, run to overdoing. Because having done all of those things, I know that will stop you from being able to access what's going on. But when you give yourself a window, permission to go, okay, I'm uncomfortable. I run into anxiety all the time. All this fear, all this self-judgment. When you start to ask yourself these questions, what am I doing? I want to do something different. I want to feel different. I want to feel peace. When you start asking yourself, when you start being willing to take different action, things begin to shift and change. But like I said, you have to be willing to sit with the discomfort. You have to be willing to get clarity on this voice in your mind who is judging you, this critic, this mean girl. What is she telling you? Because so many times, I know true in my own life, true in my client's life, she's not nice. And she's very self-deprecating. And sometimes it can be so mean that you're like, I don't want to repeat it because it's so mean. But interestingly, you don't want to repeat it out loud, but you're running it in your head. So that's the thing. You're giving that voice in your head lots of energy. You're letting her grow. You're listening to her every day. And when you're listening to that mantra every day, you're telling yourself you're not good enough. You're telling yourself you're not going to get ahead. You're telling yourself, should have done this. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you further along? Why do you keep getting in your own way? When you keep telling yourself these things, it's the voice that's running you. It's the program, if you will, that you've installed. But know that it's not really that bad. But the key is knowing what it is. When you know what it is, you can change it. Awareness is so powerful, which is why I get so excited about people taking the assessment, because I know once you start looking at things and you get greater clarity, what is can change. And what is cannot change as long as you keep allowing it to be what is. And you keep saying, it's just the way you are. You just are somebody who doesn't take care of yourself. You're somebody who gives everybody what they want and doesn't give to yourself. You're somebody who doesn't make time for yourself. You're somebody who can't say no to people. If you keep telling yourself that, you're going to keep living it. It's only when you start telling yourself a different story and you start seeing the implications of your mean girl that you start to turn it around. And that is the good news. But again, you have to be willing to go through the muddy water to get to clear water. You have to be willing to go to making... I once took a writing class, I might have shared this before, with Julia Cameron, and she just said, you just have to keep writing through until you get to your clear voice. You just have to get through the crap so that you can move through to being in a stronger place, in more clarity of mind. But when you keep telling yourself, that's just how it is, I have to muddle through, you don't have time to do things differently, you don't have time to handle this, nothing will change. And it's not like you have to move to a mountain, you don't have to move to a monastery for things to change. You can begin to make small changes. And the assessment is a great place to start. From there, you can start to look at what runs you. Is it your people pleaser? Is it you're somebody who just has to achieve at all costs, and as a result, putting achievement ahead of everything else, you sacrifice your time for yourself? Or is it that you're an avoider? You avoid all things because you don't want to have to deal with a difficult conversation, so as a result, everything piles up. There's so many different aspects of this mean girl and how she shows up in your life. That's why I love the assessment, because it gives you 9 different ways in which your mean girl might be operating. She's still a mean girl, but she shows up in a different way, and it looks tricky to you because you can't quite understand exactly what's going on. And that's what I know, is there's so many subtleties to this, and it is a willingness to be in the process with it. But as you're willing to look at it, get clarity on it, she loses her power. Your inner mean girl loses her power so that you can step up for yourself in the way you've always wanted to. And like one of my clients said, she's noticing that as she's stepping up for herself, how her children are showing up differently because she's asking them to help her, whereas before she just did everything. Or she's asking friends for help, or she's asking her husband for help. But always, she's so capable. She's had 4 children. She's a full-time teacher. She's got so many things going on. She's capable of doing all of it at a cost. And with an inner mean girl running her, not allowing herself to take any pause, any time for herself. So you can imagine the toll. So as you look at your own life, what is the toll of your mean girl? How is she impacting you? Let me know. Share in the comments of what your mean girl says to you. How does she operate? How does she get in your way? And what would you like instead? Because that is so important. And we're going to talk more about that next week. But today is really about uncover your mean girl. What does she say to you? What is the voice inside of you that is judging you, that is criticizing you? Is it on your physical appearance? Is it on what you do? Is it on what you say? Is it on, what is it? What is it? And even I would encourage you, write it down. Because when you write it down, it gives you a beginning, a middle, and an end. Because so many times when all of that stuff is rattling around in your mind, it feels so big. But when you get that it has this amount of space, and you can see, okay, this I can manage. But when it just is allowed to just be infinite information, it feels insurmountable. It's not insurmountable. You absolutely can move beyond this. And you don't have to take these mean girl patterns into 2026, as we are in the beginning of a new month, at the end of the year of 2025. It is the perfect time to start looking at this so you can start to feel you are on a new path as you begin this new year ahead. So thank you for being here with me today, and I am so excited to hear your comments. I want to hear how your mean girl operates. Do take advantage of the assessment and see how it gives you insight into yourself. And next week we will really talk about how to move beyond this in even a bigger way and really step into your bigger why. I am Claudia Braun, mindset, lifestyle coach, and EFT practitioner for women who are ready to start saying yes. Thank you for joining Say Yes to You and Why You Don't. I will look forward to being with you next week. Assessment link is right below. Bye for now.